So unless you've been living in a spaceship, you already know that a new set has released this week, and it's pretty exciting. It's time to join the seance. Kicking us off this week, it's beginning to look a little bit like Christmas. We got a look at a computer rendering of a Ding Bell Christmas ornament. I imagine that there will be multiple. Last year, MetaZoo did MetaZoo wrapping paper for Christmas. This year, we're getting ornaments. I imagine they'll stick to a similar theme as last year's and the year before's beasties with Ding Bell, Loveland Frogman, and Santa, among others. And I imagine similar to the Halloween set, we're going to see second editions of last year's promos, but not the promos from the year before. The MetaZoo tarot cards have started shipping out this week. If you haven't gotten a shipping notification, don't worry. Most people that have received them have not either. There are multiple reports of the tarot cards showing up on people's doorsteps, with the eBay listing showing that it hasn't even shipped yet. The tarot cards do feature a hollow tarot card, and from what I've seen so far, I haven't seen anything that isn't a named hollow tarot card. Those tarot card boxes can also be seeded with a black bordered sample tarot card or a Kickstarter hit. On top of that, there's also one pack of eBay Seance. The print run of the tarot card boxes was 5,000, so in essence there are also 5,000 hollow or reverse hollow eBay Seance hits. That's not to say that there won't be another eBay Seance product, but right now we don't know of one, so it could just be a print run of 5,000. We had an announcement from Mike saying nothing tops this foil, a clear reference to Tops. And the foil pattern here is really interesting. It's the foil pattern that Tops uses for its Chrome line. So this is a tease of the Tops Chrome MetaZoo partnership. And the card that is being teased here is Banshee of the Badlands. And it's also worth mentioning that earlier in the year, there was a tease that we might be able to expect a Halloween Tops set featuring beasties from Nightfall. We haven't had any announcements on that, and that has been a long time since that was teased, so it's possible that that is off the table. Now that Seance is in hand, this tease from Mike, with an image originally from SJC Collectibles, has all of the booster boxes lined up. Cryptid Nation, Nightfall, Wilderness, UFO, and Seance all look beautiful together, and I can't wait for further sets to extend that line. And one thing I had noticed for this is that if you look at the box art for Cryptid Nation, many of those beasties are headliners for other sets in the block. Of the 4 beasties on the top of the CN box, you have Bigfoot, who is the Wilderness headliner. You have Flatwoods Monster, who is the UFO headliner. You have Sinkhole Sam, who is very likely to be the native headliner. The headliners have all been Cryptid Nation based going forward, and Sinkhole Sam is also the tower mascot for Earth. So this could also hint that Tizeric is going to be a headliner beastie for something in the future. And really the only thing that makes sense that could be Frost going forward would be War. So will Tizeric be a headliner beastie? Will War be a Frost-based set? We're going to have to wait to find out. We also got the full added color Seance song, and I have to say that this is one of my favorites. This is probably my second favorite, with Nightfall still topping it off in my opinion. I can't play the song for you here because I don't want to get hit with a copyright infringement, but I will put a link in the description below so you can go to that and check it out. For Trick No Treat, we got to look at 2 of the masks that will be coming out. We got to look at Momo and Indrid Cold. Alongside the announcement in the Discord, it had said that sometimes the signature powers of beasties is imbued into the masks. And that's really interesting because what we've seen so far for the Lechuza costume and mask and the Frogman costume and mask has also proven that that is true. The Frogman costume and mask does a reduced version of Loveland Frogman's power, and Lechuza costume and mask basically copies the attack power of Lechuza's attack. So what we could see with something like Momo is anytime a beastie is equipped with the Momo mask, roll a die and you have a chance of putting an opposing beastie that's in combat on the top of the opponent's spellbook. That is Momo's power. Now this just makes me even more excited for the Trick No Treat cards because the costume and masks is probably the first equipment that I'm really excited to use and splash into basically any spellbook that I want to build. You will see me using Frogman costume and mask if you watch the videos on Cryptid Conversations where we do gameplay videos once that set is out. Another influencer medal has been announced for Dbruze. You may recognize Dbruze from some blind box shirts that they've done with MetaZoo, as well as convention exclusive shirts. And in my opinion, Dbruze has done some of my favorite MetaZoo shirts to date. So Congratulations to Dbruze, it's well deserved. It's also been announced that the UFO Lunchboxes are starting to ship. I have seen shipping notifications for some of the NFT lunchboxes, and Mike had dropped an announcement in the Discord saying anyone have any Mothman cakes they want to trade for my Babe the Blue Ox milk. My mom packed an extra one for me, and all I have to say to that is do not drink ox milk. To resolve last week's trivia question, I had asked if you are controlling a gargantuan gliders, and you attack the opposing caster. The opposing caster is controlling 3 beaver sharks. They choose to block with all 3. How much damage makes it through to caster? The answer is 15. And the answer is 15 because one of those beaver sharks becomes the primary defender. That then activates aura advantage on gargantuan glider, so his damage goes up to 90. The 3 beaver sharks combined can block 75 of that damage, and 15 would then follow through to caster. Everybody that got that question correct is on the spin wheel here. We'll give that a spin, and we'll figure out who wins this week's gift card for $15 to Immortal Workshop. And the winner is Clark Bellinger. For this week's trivia question, if I have Frank Shaw's Gargoyle, my opponent has a Quetzalcoatlus, a Thunderbird, and 2 Poltergeists. My Frank Shaw Gargoyle attacks the Thunderbird. Ketz and the 2 Poltergeists are fatigued, so they cannot block, and there are no Terra or Fourth Wall bonuses. How many of the opponent's beasties are left after combat resolves? Answer that question correctly to win a $15 gift card to Immortal Workshop. And for this week's top story, we're going to talk about the Seance release. Seance officially released last Friday on the 21st, and people are finally getting their products in hand so we can start building spellbooks with Seance. Now, not all retailers got all of their product at the right time, so some retailers like Immortal Workshop did not have their theme decks or blister packs in time for shipping on day 1. However, shops like Immortal Workshop did choose to do partial orders to make sure that people got product in hand as early as possible, and the rest of that shipment will ship at a later date. And we are getting word that there are 8 cards that come in holo-only format. The name that the community have given these is the Hateful 8, which is based off the movie. And the Hateful 8 include Walking Sam, Sheep Squatch, Lady Luck, Curse Contract, Chains of Old Scratch, Satanic Panic, Embedding the Soul, and the Possessed Aura. So those are going to be your chase cards for Seance. They're going to be the hardest ones to pull. Now, almost every set so far has had something wonky about the release and how it was packaged. With Nightfall, the spellbooks were notoriously reverse holo heavy. With Wilderness, there was definitely miss boxes where most, if not all of the box was reverse holo. With UFO, the booster boxes were almost completely full holo, the exact opposite of what we got in Wilderness in some cases. And for UFO, that actually makes the reverse holos a little harder to get than the full holos. Of my UFO binder, what I'm missing is actually reverse holos. And what we're finding with Seance is that your hits in the box are actually mappable. So what does that mean? It means all good things come in 9s. Your booster box can contain 0, 9, 18, 27, or 36 full holos. And the way to determine that is to open your booster box, take out one of each pack art, open all of those pack arts, keeping track of which card you pulled from which pack art. And if you get a full holo hit, chances are all of that pack art are also going to be full holo. Now, I'm sure there's some one-offs there, so it might not be completely every box that is going to behave that way. And when you consider secret rares and how those could be seeded, that could take the spot of a reverse holo pack. But at the end of the day, the evidence is out there to suggest that the booster boxes are mappable, that you can figure out how many holos you're going to get by opening simply 4 packs. So what does this mean for you? Well, personally, I wouldn't panic. I'm still going to buy booster boxes, because the chances of me getting holos or not isn't really that different than normal at that rate. And while yes, there have been boxes that have hit 0 holos, if you hit 1, you're at least getting 9, so there is that. It does mean that you will need to be cautious about buying single packs online, because somebody that's selling single packs could open the booster box, figure out which pack art has the hits, separate out the ones that don't, and sell those online. That also means that if you're a Whatnot streamer, you need to be careful about how you're selling your packs, because people watching, if they know the trick, they're going to be watching for what packs you're opening, which ones are hitting, and then only bidding on the ones that hit. Some Whatnot streamers have already decided to shift their strategy a little bit, Geeky Toy Hut has actually decided to pull out all of their full holos and run those specifically in stream. But like I said, I'm still going to buy booster boxes. They can't be tampered with if they're not opened. It's still up to a chance that you could get 0, 9, 18, 27, or 36. Most of the boxes I've seen are hitting at 9. I'd also like to remind everybody that spellbooks are probably where you want to focus for now, because they come with a full holo aura that's back from CN2, and there's actually been a hint from Mike in a recent Whatnot stream that the print run on the spellbooks is only 20,000. Now, I wasn't in that stream personally. I did get this screenshot from a friend that reached out, and I did reach out to Mike for confirmation and got no comment, but my understanding is that the context of this comment was about the Seance Spellbook print run. So when we look at a print run of 20,000 spellbooks, that's double of what Cryptid Nation First Edition was. So let me know in the comments below. Are you concerned about the mappable booster boxes, and does that stop you from buying further booster boxes? And if so, why? So that's all I had for this week. Next week is likely going to be delayed or canceled. I will let you know in a post on the channel. I'm going to Salem next week, and I'm not sure what the timeline for recording and getting stuff out is going to look like. And if you haven't already, definitely check out this opening of Immortal Workshop's bundle by the Rusty Ranger. She's a viewer of this channel, and I really appreciate the support in viewership and in purchasing the Immortal Workshop bundle. So thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.